So next on the stage here in the Wasch House, we have Peter Hu, who joins us from China. Peter is the founder of Auctoreal, and Auctoreal has been around pretty much very early on in the Chinese market. It's a team of developers and engineers, and they're creating content mainly for B2B in China. And today he's going, if we get the presentation to work, to tell us about a little bit of background, like how is the Chinese market working, what did they do so far there, and give us a little bit of an insight that is sometimes hard to get from the outside. So I'm really excited to hear what you guys are working on. How's it going, guys? Do we need a fourth person? We'll make it, yeah, we should take some photos of that. Maybe you can just, go ahead and,
Sure.
and introduce yourself a bit.
My name is Peter. I'm very pleased to be here. It's actually my first time in Berlin. Well, excuse my accent. I haven't been speaking English for years. I come from China, a city called Xi'an. As probably most of you know, China is a very big country and about over 600 cities in China. And Xi'an is one of the historical city. It have a lot of histories. Has about 9 million population. So yes, that's how China got so many people, so very crowded. The city where I come from is a second-tier city. Most of you probably don't know, in China we divide city to first tier, second tier, and third tier. So cities like Beijing, Guangzhou, Shanghai, which are first tier, about 20 million populations, even more crowded. So the reason my team and I choose to locate our base in Xi'an is because it still have room for growing, especially for new technology like AR and VR, new products, hardwares. Well, my presentation is still not here. So yeah, so let me briefly go over some of the things going on in China. So Xi'an has many history. It's known by its famous tourist site called Terracotta Warriors. Have you guys heard of it? It's a big tomb with all the statues from the Qin Dynasty. Very famous. If you visit China, that's a must go. It's 7th wonder in the world. Yeah.
All right, I think we're almost there.
Okay.
You're doing a great job of filling the pauses, and
Sure.
don't apologize for your English at all. It's excellent. Maybe do you guys have some initial questions till we get this to work?
Yeah. Before I go.
Who of you guys has been to China? Yeah, we recently had a delegation over, joining you guys and checking out what's up.
Any questions for me with China? Sure.
Do you see China welcoming collaborations with professionals from different countries?
Yes.
Regarding to VR?
Yes.
More enclosed? How does that work? And how different is the reality in China to here into talking about VR?
Yes, okay, to your question. First of all, I think China now these days is very open to, especially German, because German is known to be very powerful, the technology on hardwares and chips. We learn a lot of stuff from German, actually. And we've been working with, I think one of our partners is on the sign, ARA.org. We've been collaborating with Australia and American, USA, from collaborating, we're doing VR shows, and collaborating with their with Silicon. So education, AR, VR education, and AR, VR products. And I think it's doing very well with the foreigner entering China, especially right now, Chinese government are very supportive on new stuff, new technology. They've been giving out incubators, workspace for the foreigner to come and to work in China. Yes.
Very interesting. So overall, how's the public perception of VR? I think you guys are a lot more open to new technologies, especially compared to here sometimes. So right now, how do people access VR? Do they have it at home? Do they go to arcades? Is that like
Okay, that's actually a very interesting question because in China, nowadays, if you go to China, if you go to a Chinese mall, you will see a lot of eggshell shaped of things. It's for VR. And if you go to China, if you go to Taobao, it's like eBay in USA. Do they have eBay here? eBay? Okay, it's like eBay here. And you can buy VR box. It's like VR glasses is very cheap for only 20 RMB. That's I think that's €2 or yeah, about €2. You can get a VR pair of VR glasses, and it's in fold. You can fold it to VR, and
so that would be mobile VR then,
yeah,
right?
that'd be a mobile VR. And first of all, for Chinese market to accept VR, first of all, you have to make it really cheap, which yeah, it's lower down the experience, but you let people to know what is VR. And for AR technology, it's actually been very popular in China because the stuff we use on our phones, the apps like Alipay, it's like Apple Pay, but in China it's Alipay from Alibaba. And it has already built in AR, so you can recognize objects from their products and have augmented information shown.
So you have the feeling it's already like
it's
deeper rooted in like
it's
the everyday
mainstream.
life a bit.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. Yeah. So is a lot of content produced right now for mobile VR headsets, or also like the high end stuff for arcades? I heard that the market is very fractured at the moment between the different hardware setups. Is that a problem that you guys also face developing?
Yes or no, because China is like big country. There's so many different places. With each different location, they're facing different government support and facing different consumers. So for us, I think like a lot of project with it is for commercial and for local government. And I think since in China, since the government want to push technology, they will have a lot of reimbursement to the companies that doing AR and VR.
Cool.
So, yeah.
So is actually the government funding VR projects or experiences? And what do they use that for? Is that public outreach, or is that really for to work on things?
It's for like example for the military school.
Mm-hmm.
They use VR technology for simulation pilots to maintain the aircraft.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually one of my projects I did in the past year. Yeah, we've been only around. My company, it's a small company. We call ourselves startups. It's only been for 4 years. Yeah, and I start to
Which is ages for VR, by the way.
yeah, especially in China, because China AR VR entering China is late 2011. So yeah, it's relatively new compared to US. Because in US, AR being around for like, what, 8 years now, I think?
Yeah, I mean, the renaissance started about 4 or 5 years ago, where, really people got the headsets around. But then, I mean, on the other hand, we heard it earlier, Peter said it, I mean, they started in the 60s with the Damocles sword.
That's the VR,
initially
VR,
built,
yes,
but and it's always been this kind of niche thing for military simulations, but now reaching back into the consumer area and enabling us to build more stuff for more companies. It's also fairly recent, I would say.
Yes.
So guys, how are we doing on the computer stuff? Do you want to start just freestyling?
I think I just did for 10 minutes now.
All right.
Okay.
All right. No, I mean, just like start with the presentation and
sure.
go through it, and we'll see if we can get the slides working along the way, because otherwise we'll totally destroy our time frame.
Okay.
All right.
So my project. Let's talk about the. Let's talk about some experience I did from the past years. at the company I used to work with, collaborate with US expo called AWE. I'm not sure if you guys heard of it. It's a Augmented World Expo. So we brought that brand to into China, to Xi'an. And we've been doing the expo every year since. And what I feel that a lot of company, they are very interested in joining the Chinese market because it is big. And even very small percentage of the population needs VR, AR, VR. And it's a huge amount. And besides, I think a lot of Chinese VC are willing to bet on new technology, AR and VR technology, especially. So we know like Tencent, that's a very huge company in China, Tencent and Ali, and also what's the other company called? Of course, Taobao, yeah, and DJ. They all put their money investment more than billions into AR, VR technology. And for the Chinese AR applications, what we did, it's mostly for commercials, and it's being used for entertainment and for consumer use. And I think the most interesting AR app I did from the past is the tourist sites. There's hundreds, thousands of tourist sites, very famous tourist sites, beautiful sites in China. And what's interesting about it is that before you have to actually go to the place to know the actual site. It's a huge place, and you have to walk probably a whole day to finish all the sighting. So now with AR technology, what we did for the tourist sites, we actually bring the story, the backstory of the sites, and we bring the actually how it looks and the with voice in the app. So for the customers, you can actually buy the ticket from the app and scan the brochure from the tourist site, and then from there you can know the place better. And I think there are about 5,000 AR VR companies all over in China, which is not a lot. And the city I live in, Xi'an, has only about a couple thousand developers. So there is very much of a demand that needed in China for developers to develop AR, VR content. Oh, by the way, the companies that doing AR, VR right now in China, most of them are transit from gaming companies, and they used to do gamings and 3D models before. And since China is like very fast-paced country, so each year it have a new thing. Every year is constantly under development, constantly you see new buildings, new constructions. So I think it's the companies, they learn to adapt to new things, and especially the developers. So when one year they're doing this, and other years after they're doing new stuff, new technology like AR, VR. So when China, since it's fast-paced and China's government is being very supportive, I think AR, VR will be very successful, at least 5 years in China from now. Okay, so I do need my PowerPoint. Because I want to show you guys some of the projects I did. It's not $1 million project. It's not like the mechanical arms, but it's what's happening right now in China. It's what happened that people actually pay for. What's the market need? So small project, but it's actually in the market. That's very useful. Okay. No. You want me to bring my computer, my laptop, or I have a USB drive. All right, let me get my video clips.
So yeah, we just exchanged computers. This one is at least giving out a signal, which is an improvement to before. And not only the thumb drive needs to get in, the presentation copied over, and then we can finally see what those guys been up to, which I'm really curious by now. All right. So we're just destroying this image that they have about Germans being good with technology and hardware. Don't tell anyone, okay? It's normally not like that. All right. Yeah, just play it. All right, can we have the video?
Okay, thanks. Thank you. Okay, it's a short video clips for each of the project I did, part of it. Okay, this is what we did for Monster energy drink. Probably you guys all know Monster energy drink. So I've been reaching out to the Monster energy drink, the company, and shared some of my thoughts on their products because they try to get into Chinese market. They never been in China before, and it's I think this year, 2017, is the first year they entered China. So they want something. They want some new elements into their project, their products. So we design and develop an AR thing for their new product in China. This is just part of the app, the AR app we did for them. I can't show the rest. But it's a very interesting product, and this is what I was talking about, the actual needs. It's not a big project, but it's actually allow people to see how AR works with the market. Okay. So yeah, I have to play this one by one. And it's not closing. Wow. Well, shoot. Okay. 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 So this this is one of the tourist sites we did for Chongqing. Chongqing is known for its hot pot. It's very spicy, everywhere spicy, and this is what I was talking about. So each site, is a big map. Everybody get a brochure when they enter the theme park. And when they enter the park, each page has its own story. Each sighting has its own story. So this guy right here, this statue right here, is actually the first person who did Tai Chi. I think there's two styles of Tai Chi. This is the main people practice for the Tai Chi. It's called the Chen style Tai Chi. So with this theme tourist site, we did 10 pages. All 10 pages are with the AR effects and AR. So we have the AR effects, and then beneath there's the stories and the voice. They tell you how and what's going on, why this. Basically, the introduction of the place and these statues. Okay. All right. No. Okay. Now this is what we did. This is actually with Hollands MR. Even though, believe it or not, Hollands is really hard to get in China. They don't sell in China until like late beginning of 2017, I think. Yeah, it's only available in US. But there are a lot of demand in China that they want us developers to develop contents for MR, because it's really cool stuff. The first time I seen Hollands, it's like wearing Iron Man's helmet. You can see a lot of cool stuff. So this is what we did for it's like military. It's like NASA in China, and it's a school. And this is how they want us to present the rocket ship and the satellites. So yes, it's very interesting, and we've been receiving a lot of good feedbacks from what we did for from the Hollands. Well, I don't know. Each time I need to play a video clips, it's not closing up. So I tried to set well, normally it's in my PowerPoint, and each video clip is part of my project for 20 seconds. So 3 more. So I have like 3 more video clips. Okay, this is Xi'an. Xi'an is known for, besides terracotta warriors, this is Wild Goose Pagoda. It's like a tower. So the story behind this is very historical. A monk went to India to search for the Buddha scripts, and he brought back on foot from India to China. That's why China has a big country for believing in Buddhism. That's actually a very famous tourist site in Xi'an. If you go Xi'an, you can see this. And that's the actual statues in front of the pagoda. Okay, so how do I do this? I think my time is up. I don't want to waste. Okay. So again, my project is not very big, very hard project to do, but it's actually what the market in China needs. I think this is it. Yeah. So I'm just going to show a last one. I have like 2 more, but it's too hard to work this. So this is the military training VR I was talking about. This military, basically, we show the pilots before they go to the cockpit. They have to check the surroundings of the aircraft, and to do a little, maintenance on the aircraft. And then after they get on the cockpit, and there's a pointer for the instructors to instruct the pilot how to take off, and when they take off, when you run into trouble like engine malfunction, how to use a parachute, and basically a training purpose for military school, flying school. Yeah. Okay, I think that's it. Yeah. Okay, I think my time is up.
Give him a big hand for freestyling it.